Welcome to the Explainer. So, today we're diving straight into the actual data for the 2026 job market. And look, if you're thinking that an advanced degree, like an MBA, is still just this automatic golden ticket to an effortless career, well, you might want to buckle up, because the numbers we're about to unpack are frankly going to serve as a major wake-up call.
Okay, let's dive right into this. I need to ask you something kind of uncomfortable. Are you currently relying on campus placements as your only plan after your MBA? Just putting your head down, doing the assignments, and assuming the recruiters are just going to handle the rest? Because if you are, consider this your reality check. That whole idea of a guaranteed, stress-free placement, it's pretty much a relic of the past at this point. The data we're looking at shows exactly why betting everything on that traditional recruitment drive is just a massive risk to your financial future.
Now, when you first look at this data, I know the immediate reaction is usually just pure panic. But listen to me, as someone who wants to see you win. What's actually happening in 2026 isn't some uniform across-the-board crisis. It's really a tale of two entirely different markets. The jobs are absolutely out there. The capital is still flowing. It's just that the way recruiters are handing out those opportunities has completely shifted. So think of it less like a drought and more like a river that's just been totally redirected.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what I mean. On one hand, you have that outdated expectation. Just get the degree, check the box, and land a premium role. Any MBA, any specialization, right? That's the ghost of hiring past. The actual 2026 reality is a whole different ballgame. Recruiters are simply not buying generalists right now. They are paying absolute top dollar for concentrated, tech-anchored skills. Basically, if your skill set is purely general management with no technical edge, you are going to find this market incredibly frustrating.
But hey, let's focus on where the action actually is, because there is some really fantastic news in the data. Hiring in 2026 is genuinely booming, but strictly in highly specific sectors. We're talking analytics, consulting, banking and financial services, fintech, and e-commerce. Top-tier B schools are still reporting super healthy packages, but do you see the connective tissue here? Every single one of these fields is intensely data-driven. The market is aggressively hunting for these specific profiles. I mean, honestly, if you can code a Python script to automate a financial model right now, recruiters might literally offer to walk your dog just to get you to sign on the dotted line.
All right, I need to slow down for a second, though, to share what genuinely shocked me in the numbers. You might be sitting there thinking, well, I'm at an elite program, so I'm totally insulated from this, right? Well, the data says otherwise. Even at the absolute top tier, it is noticeably tougher than before. We're seeing leading global business schools reporting lower 3-month employment rates compared to past years. And that 3-month post-grad window, that is the gold standard metric, and it is slipping at the most elite institutions on the planet. The hard truth is, a branded, high-pedigree degree simply does not guarantee an automatic offer anymore.
So if that top elite tier is facing a cool down, what happens everywhere else? Well, for students outside the top 20 or 30 institutes, we are seeing what I call the general management squeeze. Because if you don't have those highly concentrated tech-anchored skills we just talked about, you're probably aiming for those traditional general management roles. But here's the kicker. That pool of roles is shrinking. So you've got this massive wave of talented, hungry graduates engaged in fierce competition for an ever-diminishing number of generalist jobs. It's essentially a high-stakes game of musical chairs, and they're pulling away half the chairs every single round.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is understanding exactly how the rules of the game have changed. Welcome to the new filter. Recruiters have completely rewritten their sorting algorithms. They are now prioritizing demonstrated digital and analytical skills way over just your degree pedigree. They don't just care about where you studied anymore. They want to know exactly what digital tools you can use to solve their problems on day one. So yeah, your degree gets your name in the database for sure, but your demonstrated analytical skills, that's what actually pushes your resume to the very top of the pile.
So, with all this heavy data laid out on the table, what do we actually do about it? How do we adapt? Well, we pivot from just staring at the problem to actively engineering a solution. And let me be super clear. The takeaway here is absolutely not to just give up on campus placements. No way. Go after those placements with everything you've got. But the core directive for 2026 is simply this. Do not make placement your only plan. It's time to start rebuilding your plan A. We have to shift from just passively waiting around to be chosen by a recruiter to actively building a diversified, empowered career strategy.
I want to just pause for a second and let the profound weight of this idea really sink in. A second and third income pathway is now a career strategy, not a backup. So the crucial point is, we're not talking about a safety net anymore. We're talking about a core strategy. Side hustles, consulting gigs, freelance analytics, entrepreneurial stuff. These are now foundational pillars of a modern professional life. Relying completely on a single corporate paycheck from one employer, that's just an outdated risk model. Diversifying your income streams is the brand new baseline for true career stability.
Let's move to and see how this builds into actionable steps. How do we actually construct this resilient Plan A? Okay, step 1. You've got to break the old habit. Stop relying on placements as your single pathway to success. Step 2. Take a hard inventory of your skills, especially those digital and analytical ones, and start building out that second and third income pathway right now, like before you even graduate. And step 3, which honestly is the most empowering part of all this data, do not leave your income entirely in someone else's hands. When you create your own leverage, you walk into those recruiter interviews not sweating with desperation, but radiating the confidence of someone who already has solid options.
Which brings us to the final kind of lingering challenge from our source material today. I want you to really think about this. What would you do in the very first month after graduating if placements just didn't work out immediately? If the phone didn't ring, if the email didn't come? How are you generating value? How are you leveraging those tech-anchored skills on your own terms? Don't wait until graduation day to try and figure that out. The 2026 job market, it strongly rewards the proactive, the analytical, and the diversified. So start building your true Plan A today. Keep learning, keep adapting, and I'll see you in the next explainer.